Spider mites, probably the most frustrating pest a plant parent can deal with. One day your plant looks perfectly fine, the next, it's covered in webs, turning yellow and struggling to survive. And if you don't act fast, these little pests will take over before you even realize what's happening. I know because it just happened to me. I was walking past my calathea and something didn't look right. The leaf seemed dull, a bit limp. I flipped one over and there it was. Webbing. Tiny specks. That sinking feeling hit hard. Spider mites. But I'm not just talking about spider mites today. I'm taking you along with me in real time as I fight back. I'll be treating both my calathea and desert rose, showing you exactly what I'm doing to get rid of spider mites for good. Step by step, what to do, what not to do, and how I'm giving these plants the best chance to bounce back. And yes, I'll be updating you over the next few weeks to show you what works and what doesn't, because I'm not just throwing products at the problem, I'm doing what it takes to make sure this infestation doesn't come back. If you've ever noticed fine webbing on your plants, tiny yellow spots or leaves that look dull and lifeless, chances are spider mites are already making themselves at home. They might be tiny, but the damage they cause is real. Spider mites feed by piercing your plant's leaves and sucking out the juices, slowly draining the plant's life force, like the plant version of a succubus. And if that wasn't bad enough, they thrive in warm, dry conditions, which makes indoor plants the perfect target. What makes them truly dangerous, though, is how fast they multiply. A single female spider mite can lay up to 20 eggs per day, and those eggs can hatch in just 3 days. So that one little patch you spotted today, that can turn into a full-blown infestation before the end of the week. The biggest mistake? Waiting. Thinking it's not that bad, hoping it'll go away on its own. What starts as a few spider mites can turn into thousands, and if you wait, it's usually too late. Before I even pick up a spray bottle, I start by removing the dead weight. Spider mites don't just cause damage, they leave it behind. And once a leaf is yellowed, crispy, or covered in webbing, it's not coming back. So I grab a pair of clean, sterilized scissors and trim off the worst of it. Brittle leaves, heavy webbing, curling edges. If a stem is too far gone, I cut it back to where it's still healthy. In doing this, I'm not trying to make the plant pretty right away. I'm trying to help it survive. Every damaged leaf I remove is energy the plant can put toward new, healthy growth instead. I'm also taking this chance to cut back my desert rose a little bit. It not only gets rid of some of the damage, but it encourages a bushier plant over time. And don't worry about the bare look. Those leaves will grow back. When it comes to treatment, I don't guess and I don't just use one spray. I use a 2-product system that hits mites at every life stage, from egg to adult, with no survivors and no comebacks. On day 1, I start with Green Cleaner Plant Wash. This stuff is brutal on spider mites. It breaks down their protective layer and suffocates them on contact. It kills both adults and eggs and works fast, but only when it's wet, so timing matters. Because I grow my plants in semi-hydro, I can go one step further. I don't just spray the leaves. I can also drench the roots and the leca to flush out any mites hiding in the root zone. They're sneaky and easy to miss. Here's exactly how I use it. As a foliar spray, I mist every part of the plant, especially under the leaves, along the stems, and in the crown. For a drench, I soak the roots and the leca in the solution for 1 to 2 minutes, then I let the plant dry out completely before putting it back in place. On day 2, I follow up with Pure Crop 1. This isn't just a backup, it's the second punch in a 1-2 knockout. Pure Crop 1 is both a contact spray and a systemic treatment, meaning it doesn't just kill mites on the surface. It actually absorbs into the plant and makes it harder for any survivors to feed or reproduce. It also helps the plant recover faster. It boosts photosynthesis, supports new growth, and gives the plant a fighting chance to bounce back stronger. Now you might be thinking, is treating again the very next day too soon? I get it, but Green Cleaner stops working once it dries. So following up with Pure Crop 1 the next day keeps the pressure on. With how fast the mites multiply, this back-to-back approach makes sure nothing slips through the cracks. I repeat the process, a full foliar spray and a 2 to 3 minute drench of the roots in Leca, then I let the plant dry out. If you're wondering, should I put Pure Crop 1 in the reservoir? No, it's not made to be used like that, and keeping it in your nutrient solution can end up messing with your roots over time. If I want to get ongoing protection in the root zone, I use SNS 209. It's safe for semi-hydroponic setups and works systemically over time to stop pests before they take hold. Let's get into timing, because this is where most people go wrong. In a warm indoor conditions, spider mite eggs can hatch in 3 days. And those babies can start laying eggs of their own in as little as 7 to 10 days. If I don't treat consistently, I'm giving them time to rebound, and they absolutely will. So here's how I schedule my treatment. For a mild infestation, I treat every 3 days for 3 weeks. That covers at least 2 full generations of spider mites. For a severe infestation, I treat every 2 days for the first 2 weeks, and then every 3 days for the 3rd week. Even when it looks like they're gone, I keep spraying once a week for another month, because all it takes is 1 egg to start everything over again. This isn't overkill. This is matching the treatment to the mite life cycle and making sure I win. Here's the part no one wants to deal with: keeping them away for good. Because here's the truth, everyone gets spider mites at some point. It's not about being careless, it just happens. What matters is how early I catch them and how well I stop them from spreading. Humidity plays a huge role. Spider mites love dry air. If my humidity drops below 50%, I know I'm making it easy for them. I aim to keep my humidity between 50 to 60%. Maybe not exactly tropical, but just enough to make life uncomfortable for the spider mites. And if I notice a hint of a spider mite, I quarantine that plant immediately, because leaving it next to other plants is just asking for trouble. I isolate it until I'm sure it's clean, but I also check the plants around it and I make sure those are good. If they are not, they are joining the other plant in quarantine. Airflow helps too. Mites hate moving air. I keep a small fan running near my plants, nothing too intense, just enough to keep things circulating and discourage pests from settling in. And the one thing I never skip: weekly checks. I don't assume things are fine just because a plant looks okay. Once a week, I check under the leaves and along the stems. If there's something starting, I want to catch it early, because I never want to go through this treatment cycle again, and I'm guessing you don't either. Both Green Cleaner and Pure Crop 1 are widely available. You can find them online at good plant shops or at hydroponic stores. If you can't get your hands on these exact products, look for ones with similar active ingredients that offer both contact and systemic action. I've included links to everything I'm using in the description below, so feel free to check those out if you want to follow along with the exact treatment plan I'm using. If you want to see whether these plants actually bounce back, I'll be sharing real-time updates inside my free Facebook group. The link is in the description. And if this video helped you out, hit the like button. It really supports the channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the final update. Fingers crossed we bring these plants back stronger than ever.